Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us here at Transwest Truck Trailer RV of Frederick, Colorado. My name is Michaela. This morning we are running through one of our 2026 Cimarron Showstar LXs. This one is one of our 10 pen setups. A lot going on with this guy. It is pretty well optioned out, kind of similar to what you guys saw at the National Western Stock Show with our display trailer. This one has got nearly the same options as that guy, but I'm real excited to bring it to you guys this morning. Before we get to it here in person, we're just going to go ahead and pull up that drawing and run through it together. Taking a look at our overhead view, we are an exact 28 feet on the floor. We do have that longer 9'6" nose up front so that you can fit a generator behind your front end enclosure. And we have the extra large 7 foot 8.5 front tack up there, 8 wide and 6'4" tall. So kind of your standard low pro dimensions right there. But with the 6'4" tall, I am 6 foot tall myself, so this will give you guys a really good visual of walking through a low pro. We do have head pads on all of those doors though for you guys. So if you are taller and you forget to duck one day, we have the head pads already on this guy. So one of our most popular features on these trailers now, and has been on our show cattle trailers for a longer period of time, is going to be this side ramp getting in and out of your front tack, as well as your load space. So it was more popular on those show cattle trailers to begin with. They just have the bigger blower carts, vacuums, extra large show carts they need to wheel up in and out of there. It's gained a lot of popularity in these show stars now as well. So it just makes your life so much easier. I've got a lot of horse trailer customers that also add it on their front tacks. They don't have the large show carts necessarily. It's more just for convenience. Rather than stepping in and out of something all the time, you can just walk up in and out of there. So getting everything loaded into this space is going to be a whole lot easier with your side ramp here. And then we do have the man door on the opposing side. But as you guys climb up in here, you're going to notice just how expansive this front tack is. So you're never going to have to be worried about getting everything you need to go to a show in this space. We do have that gray rubber tread on the floor, which you guys are checking out down there. I love that on the floor just for, especially right now, you guys just saw me climb up a wet ramp to get in here. It's going to keep this area a lot cleaner. It's going to keep it easier to clean, especially if you're using your pass-through, you're showing off this trailer, you're getting your shavings on your boots and stepping into this space. It's going to be so much easier to just grab a blower and blow it out. You can use a broom and sweep it up, or you can vacuum it up, anything like that. It's going to be way better than your carpet on your floor. So I love the gray rubber for that. And we're just going to start up at the front, work our way around because this is a large space. So right here, kind of just a blank wall. We did do the line insulate and carpet on these walls right here. We don't have any airliner track right here, so that's something if you guys wanted to use this as something, a storage space where you're going to strap stuff down, we can always add that. But right now, just a good wide open storage space for you guys right here. And then up at our nose, we do have this 4-inch tall removable tube. So this guy does come out to give you the convenience of getting things in and out of there, but also putting it back in place so that it doesn't allow your things to slide off of there. I've got a whole bunch of stuff stored up in the nose of my horse trailer. I've not had it slide off, but mine's also not jam-packed all the way full. So if you guys really are utilizing the space and filling it up, this is just going to prevent anything from jumping off. You don't want things breaking as you're driving down the road. So it keeps things up in there. We do have 2 of those Optobrights up in this space as well. So you guys have the visibility to see what you have stored up in here and get to it easier. And then we do have the full carpet deck up here. Over on our left, we have a storage tray for your plexiglass. So we'll get back there and check out exactly where your plexiglass is located in this trailer. But that's going to be your storage tray. So when you do remove it, it's not going to eat up any valuable storage space in here. It's kind of just dead space over there and protects it, keeps it from getting stepped on and cracked, broken, scratched. Over here, we have our 30 amp package. So we have a 30 amp power pack on this guy. This is just going to be your fuses inside of here, as well as your breakers. So you guys can check those guys if you are having power issues. Does come with an outlet right here. You guys will find we've got multiple outlets located in the load space, but up here, perfect for charging maybe your portable speakers, your cell phones, clippers, extra batteries. It's just a nice charging capability space up here if you are using your other outlets back there for blowers and such. But we've got that 30 amp power pack on here with a solar charger, so that is going to help keep your batteries maintained and topped off if you are showing off of this trailer and using a lot of that power. Over here we do have a shelf. So we've got our 2-inch lip right here. Your rubber mat down in there to just keep things nice. I've got the same shelf in my horse trailer. Works really well for extra storage space. And then of course comes with that closed bar down low. which is going to be great for hanging up your show clothes. Again, showing off of this trailer, you can keep everything nice and organized, especially if you want to keep it wrinkle free. Keep it up here, extra jackets. I've got extra vests just for weather change and such, but really nice hanging space right there. And then down below, we've got our 18-inch boot box. So this is that extra deep one. I've just got the 12-inch on mine, but I've been loving these 18-inch because you can fit a full-size 5-gallon bucket down in here. Just gives you more space, especially when we do have such a large front tack in this one. We're not going to be missing any space by upgrading to this deeper one right here. I have our power cord for our 30-amp power pack. So if you guys are plugging in, you got your portable gen on your gen brackets up front. Be plugging in, and I'll show you guys where that is later, but you're getting a cord with that 30-amp power pack. And then right here we've just got a box because we do have a combo lock on this man door that's behind me. So your driver's side front tack, you do have a combination lock just to keep things secure in here. Over here is going to be that man door into this front tack room, so you don't always have to drop down your ramp if you just need to get in and check on things or grab something out of here, waiting in the check-in line. And you just need to come back here and then get into your stock space that way. You guys can jump in here rather than dropping a ramp down. That way you can close it behind you if the line keeps moving. I mentioned those head pads, so here's going to be a good one right here. Again, a 6-foot tall. We have a 6'4" tall low pro trailer, so if you are stepping in and out, the head pad is just going to be your reminder if you forget to duck. Another ultra bright light right here because we like to have the visibility. I worked at Stock Show. I've been past that livestock check-in. You guys are there for a long time, and it's dark too. So if you guys are getting in here to check in on your animals while you're waiting and check in, you guys can really lighten this up and see what you have going on in here. Over on our partition wall, we did 2 sets of utility hooks. So these are not bridle hooks, these are utility hooks, which means they are spaced further apart. I think they're actually a little bit deeper this way and wider this way. So they're meant to hang hoses up there, whether you're blower hoses, vacuum hoses, water hoses. Gives you more space right there. Your 30-amp cord could hang up there rather than being confined by those bridle hooks. And then down low, 2 rows of that airliner track. So that's what I was mentioning. If you guys are strapping your carts down in here, this just gives you the versatility of being able to strap in however it packs. Because when you're packing for the show versus packing at the show to go back home, I know you're going to pack probably 2 different ways, the same as me going to like a barrel race or something. I'm probably going to be more organized in the beginning, and then I'm going to want to get out of there, and it's just going to kind of fall into place as it will. So using that airliner track just gives you that versatility to move stuff around however you need to, however it fits in this space. And then we do have our pass-through straight into our pen space. So if you guys are coming in here, again, check-in line, you're showing off this trailer, this is going to lead you right into your alleyway side of the trailer, and then all of your pens on the other side. But we'll get back to that as we jump around. Got one more optic right here, so we have 4 up inside this front tack room, really lighting up this space. And then as we come back down the ramp, we're going to take a look back up at your top rail because we have a 16-inch awning LED over that front ramp. It's going to shine over both of these ramps though. Guys, those are very bright. Got them on my Cimarron at home, so I can tell you, and I have pictures on my social media of how bright these are. So you're gonna have tons of visibility right here over these ramps. And then of course we did extra marker lights, extra of those button lights on your top rail as well. Really like to brighten up these show trailers for you guys and give you a good look. So I think we've got 11 up there on each side of that top rail. So stepping back, we have our side ramp into our pen space right here. And you guys will notice right here at this first gate that these are white instead of aluminum. So we do have powder coated pens in this trailer. That's a very popular upgrade for those of you that are showing the lighter livestock that get to laying down and leaning up on these pens. I know in my trailer I don't have padding, I just have aluminum dividers. My horses are brown and they rest on there and they end up with those black streaks, and I'm not even going to show them. So if you are going to show your animals, of course, just whatever you can do to keep them clean and less work for you guys involved when you do get to the show, less stress on the animal that way. The powder coated pens have been a very popular upgrade. And then stepping in here, right now I've got it set up with your alley on your right-hand side. Technically it's gonna be our left, the way we're looking at it right now. But these gates all of them are pinned in to where they stay open. So you guys can really utilize this as your walkway up and down. And then all these pens that I have right now are set up with a 60% over here, so your 40% is your alleyway. These are the adjustable pen setup. You guys can opt for 50-50 if you build, but these can also make 50-50, which is why we love how versatile they are. We build everything as the adjustable, so that way you have the options. But you guys are just gonna pull on this gate so it pops out. You're gonna push it over, and then it pops back in over there. So that's how easy it is to put your pens back at a 50-50 setup. So if you're hauling and you need your full 10 pens in here, it's very easy to just make those back to 50-50. You get where you're going, you offload some animals, you want to go back to the 60-40. These guys are so easy to use. You're just releasing that, you're going to pull it back and send it back over this way and pop it back in. You guys have options. All of these posts in here, we'll just take a look at this guy right here, are removable as well. So pulling down on these AR latches, you can take out all of these center posts and wide open this trailer as well, if that's something you guys need to do. While we're up top, we've got roof vents, two-way roof vents, and we've got them all the way down both sides. So really utilizing and maximizing how you guys can maintain the temperature inside of this trailer. They do work the two different directions, so you can pop them open forwards, pop them open backwards, and they are a really high quality part. So a lot of what I tell my customers and explain why these Cimarrons are priced the way they are is all the way down into the fit and finish. So all the way down into the smallest pieces, such as your roof vent, they make sure to find the best quality. This is not just a black plastic handle that's gonna break off as it gets brittle and cold. It's a very nice, high quality product. So they look all the way into the details to make sure you guys are gonna love your Cimarrons for a lifetime. Speaking of temperature control, we've also got two of these 18-inch Durafans inside of this trailer, so you guys can maximize airflow that way. Of course, we're gonna have drop-down windows. We can take a look at those on the exterior, as well as our fold-down slats and where that plexi is. But then we also have an AC unit inside of this stock space. So it is an AC with a heat strip, so it's not gonna really pump. It's not a furnace. It does not have propane. It's electric, but it will offer a little bit of heat if you guys need that. Otherwise, having this AC back here is really just going to help maintain, regulate that temperature. If you guys end up going showing down south, you end up in livestock check-in, you're waiting forever, you're showing off your trailer, keep your animals cool this way. Also, resale value, just having some of these options is really going to help your trailer maintain its value and be appealing on that resale market. Over here on this side, we're going to have our feeder rods up high, so you guys can store up here. We've got full length, and then we're going to have 1, 2, 3 of your outlets down your top rail over here, evenly spaced, as well as our Optobrights on this side. And then right here, we've got a couple of our light switches right here, so you guys can be controlling lights from inside of here versus having to walk around and find other light switches. Another one of our head bumpers right here as we're stepping out of this space, just in case you forget to duck that head. So making our way back out, part of that LX package with your Showstars is going to be that full polish aluminum extrusion. We did wash it in our wash bay this morning for our video, so it does look really nice right now, but that's going to be part of that package. We did also upgrade to that spread axle. So what your spread axle is doing for you back here is it's helping with weight distribution. So you guys think rather than having your axles right next to each other, that first one is pushed forward a little bit. It's going to take a little bit of that tongue weight off of your tow vehicle. It's going to help with ride comfortable, being comfortable as well. So it's going to help, especially here in Colorado, when you hit those potholes. Our roads are terrible up here, and I did hear about it at Denver. You guys told me about getting to the livestock check-in and how rough it was and how you were grateful for your air ride or wished you had air ride. So combining your air ride with that spread axle on this one is really just going to keep your animals comfortable. With how much you invest into these animals, invest into showing and making sure they feel good and look good when you get to where you're going, this is going to be the optimal setup for you guys. Again, we do have the air ride on here. So we do have rubber torsion axles on this trailer. The air ride is in addition. So there used to be this stigma behind the air ride and how when your air ride failed, you were stranded. Things have come a long ways. So now if your air ride were to fail, and I haven't really heard that big complaint, but if something were to happen, you still have rubber torsion axles, so you can still get to where you're going. You're not stranded. The air ride is auto leveling, has its own onboard compressor, so it's pretty foolproof there. But this is going to be the exact setup you want for shows. And we've heard about it a lot in our cattle industry as well. I know we've heard a lot about how people have been leaving later for shows. They don't have to leave nearly as early because they don't have to work on either refeeding their animals when they get there, getting them hydrated again. They're able to leave later, which now saving you in stalling if you guys have stalling fees like that. So just helps with your animals there. And then we do have amber turn signals. So that's something that we do on a lot of our show trailers as well as our extra wide trailers. These are going to indicate when you are changing lanes as well as when you're stepping on your brakes. Right up above that, we have our fold down slats. So you guys are just gonna grab right here and pull. They do have a gas shock on them, so they might be a little tough to get going. Some people will walk up and think that they're locked. Give it a good tug. These guys are gonna fold down. And there's that plexiglass that I had mentioned. So we do have the plexiglass inserts behind our fold down slats because we have that AC unit inside. We really wanted to make sure it was well insulated and would keep that cooler air inside of there when you were utilizing that. So these do get pulled out from the interior if you guys wanted to remove those and stick those up there in that tray to get those wide open air gaps. And then we do this piece of aluminum strip right here so that way your animals cannot get their heads through these fold down slats and cause any issues right there. These are very, very popular, especially when you are traveling long distances to shows. Maybe you leave like this morning, it was probably still pretty chilly, but then the sun comes out, gets really hot. You don't have to come back here and do a lot of work to get air to your animals. You just have to get out of your truck, walk back here, flip those down and get back on the road. So those are very popular for convenience. And then up here we have our drop down windows. These will also drop down and lock into place so you can travel with these guys down. They do have a sliding bus window built in, so if you didn't want to drop those down, you can just slide that guy open for airflow. And then we have these jail bars here as well, which do drop down if you did need to get in there and check on animals or do anything within that space. You guys have the ability to open them wide open. If you're sitting at a show or livestock check-in showing off your trailer, you've got a lot of options for opening up this trailer and getting a lot of airflow moving through. Stepping back, our doors are on wraparound hinges, so these guys will wrap all the way around and get out of your way. So when you are showing on and off, you're not walking around this big door that's at a 45, folds flush up against, makes your life so much easier. And then back here, we've got this gate also pinned open right there. So that way it's not closing on you guys as you're working off of that alleyway. This will give you guys a really good look at that pen setup right now and just how versatile it is. You know, watch that ramp go. That ramp's on hinges. Want to jump up right there. And then what we have back here, so we're going to have two of our 16-inch LEDs up high. Again, visibility getting in and out. With it being 8 wide, we had plenty of space to do the 16 inches over the 8 inches. Head pads back here on each one. And then all of these center posts are removable. You take all that out. Powder coated pens, and then Werm flooring. So Werm flooring has been very popular in these as well, mostly because of all of the moving parts that you guys are checking out in this space. You think about having rubber mats in there, you're gonna have a lot of seams. And then if you guys do have hogs and you're showing hogs off of this trailer, they like to chew stuff up. So having all of those seams and rubber mats, they're gonna root their noses down there, grab those and chew on those. So Werm flooring is gonna eliminate that. It's gonna add an insulating factor. So we've already done the whole line and insulate the walls. Cimarron's insulated roof. Wanted to invest in the floor as well and make sure that was well insulated. Adds a cushion factor. And then it's protecting your aluminum floor underneath. So it's non-porous and it's sealed all the way around the edges. So no water, no urine is ever gonna get through that floor to your aluminum floor underneath. So now you're not pulling mats and power washing out to maintain that floor. It is definitely worth the investment, especially in these pen trailers or any of these show trailers. As I mentioned, fully lined and insulated all the walls, and then standard on all of your Cimarrons is going to be that insulated roof. So it's about a 1/2 inch thick. It's a fiberglass material, has a honeycomb core, and it's going to be dent resistant up to a baseball size hail. But it also has an R3 thermal value, so it's helping with the insulation factor in here and allowed us to get to that 6'4" clearance versus being a 6'8", where you want that heat to get up and escape from your animals. Allowed us to go a little bit lower, which then lowers the drag from your trailer as well, helps with fuel economy, all good things. Over on our left-hand side mimics our right-hand side on our top rail with our up-to-brights and our outlets up there as well. So lots of space to be plugging in, lots of lights to be able to see what you guys are doing. I'm just gonna go ahead and close this one and show you guys that we do have a 50-50 split ramp on here. So if you guys were using that alley and you just wanted to keep this side closed, swing this guy back with our wraparound hinges all the way to the back. we did do that split ramp right there. So if you guys wanted to keep this side closed, you can definitely do that. Again, just giving you guys options, convenience, versatility, being able to use these trailers however you guys need to on any given day at any given show, because things change, and just having all those options is going to make your life easier. But I do want to talk about these ramp latches real quick, because you guys will see a lot of these on our pen trailers. They do also hold the gates open. I've got a lot of customers who will come to the lot and pull on this and say, I cannot get it open. I'm pulling really hard right now, guys. What you're doing when you pick up right here is you're putting this in a bind. So you're picking up here, which is pushing down here, when you really want this to be coming up. So don't come over and try and pull that. You're gonna pull back here, and it's gonna pull straight up. So a lot less. Right now I'm really tugging on that guy. Come back here, and it's gonna pick up with just 2 fingers. If you ever get to where it gets a little difficult right here, you can also push up from the bottom, and that works as well. But just a tip right there, keep in mind as you're utilizing these trailers. All of our light switches back here as well. So that's controlling left-hand side, right-hand side, load lights, and interior lights from back here. All of our tail lights have built-in reverse lights now as well. So your white X right here is going to turn on when you do put your trailer into reverse. They're all LEDs, so they are very bright. Go ahead and make our way back around to this side. It's going to look pretty similar as the other side. You guys are going to have those drop-down windows over every pen. We've got our fold-down slats on this side. We've got an amber turn signal, back to our spread axle air ride, black spoke aluminum wheels, 16-inch G-rated tires on this guy, full polish extrusion, and then we have our man door into our load space or our pen space right here. So you guys can also access through your tack room, through that pass-through, through the back, through the other side, but now you just have more accessibility right here. Also have a head pad on that guy. 16-inch awning LED over this door. 2 latches, so that way you have this one that you can open from the inside, and then this one when you are traveling, that's going to make sure that nothing accidentally opens it. And a fold down step to make life easier climbing in and out of there. And then back up to our front tack, we have a man door on driver's side right here. Again, just so accessibility. If you need to get in here and check on your animals, you can get through this door right here. We'll shut this and give you guys a really good look at our color on this one. We do have the charcoal metallic, which has been by far our most popular color in our show trailers. We have white. White's going to be standard. We have black. We have silver. We had the caribou one, and then the charcoal metallic. This is by far our most popular seller. Everyone loves this color. I'm a big fan as well. I think it looks really sharp, especially with your polish. And then there's that combo lock I was talking about on your front tack. So keeping things safe and secure that way, you can really lock it up nice and tight. You guys can't see from down here, but we do have our solar panel flush mount. It's a low pro mount up on top right over my head there. Finishing up front, because we got a lot going on up here as well. First and foremost, we do have our front end closure, which means you get your roll-up garage door up here. So giving it a nice, clean, finished show look as well, but also protecting everything back here from road debris. Slides up really well. Again, we did the 9.6 nose on this guy, so it made your front end enclosure really deep in this space. We do the extruded base down there. And then what we did with our gen brackets right here was we did a flush level mount versus setting them down in there. So that's going to give you maximum width for a bigger generator right there. We have the 30 amp hour pack. We have a lot of lights on this one and a lot of outlets. So having the bigger generator, if you guys are running a lot off of those outlets, is going to be important. So lots of good width right there for that guy. We do have our equalizer jack, which is my favorite jack because it is an electric over hydraulic and it has a manual override. So if you were to ever accidentally kill this guy, you can crank it up and down. Your little handle just stores over there for convenience. Full size matching spare tire down right there. And then up here inside of our battery box, we did the extra large battery box that is lockable. We have a RedArc charger. So this is going to be a turbocharger. Typically your batteries will trickle charge off of your 7-pin, which plugs into your tow vehicle. This is going to push a lot of extra juice to make sure it stays maintained and topped off for you guys. Especially with that solar, you shouldn't have battery issues on this guy. Especially if you remember to use your battery disconnect as well. That's what this switch right here is for. I just turned it off. says killed all power, which means now your batteries are not charging. So keep that in mind. But really important to use if you maybe aren't sure if you accidentally left a light switch on and you're not using your trailer, just turn that off. If you are plugged in or sitting out in the sun and you want to charge your batteries, just make sure to flip that to green. And then our air ride. As I mentioned, it's very easy to use, has its own onboard compressor. So I do have it turned on right now and our bags are full. And it is auto leveling, so you will hear it kick on when you do load stuff onto this trailer. Typically what I will recommend is before you start loading, I would just flip this guy on. What that's going to do is it's going to act just like an air compressor at home. It's going to build air within this system. Just want to leave this guy turned to lower. So it builds air in here, but does not push air to the bags, because then that raises up your trailer, which makes your ramps a little bit steeper. So when you're loading show carts and livestock, you don't want your ramps to be steep. So on and lower, get everything loaded. Before you pull out of the driveway, flip that down to raise. It will push all that air to those bags. And then when you guys are done and you're parked, just want to make sure we don't keep air in this system overnight. For the day is just fine, but if you're going to park overnight, we don't want air because we don't want condensation, which means water in our lines. So we turn it to lower, turn it off, and it will start to push out most of the air, but you guys are going to want to come down here to your valve. This is your drain valve, and just pull on it. What that's doing, if you guys can peek in there, it's dropping, pushing all the air out. All the way back to zero. So now we don't have air sitting in our lines, which means we're not going to have condensation. And then before I forget, because I was mentioning generator, if you guys peek up in here, that's where you're plugging in that shore power cord. So it's going to run from your generator on your gen brackets over there behind your front end enclosure and plug in right there. So that's why you get a cord, and everything stays back here behind that front end enclosure. Up here we've got a 16-inch awning LED for light, so you guys can see that guy flips on right there. So you guys can see if you are in this space working or hooking up your trailer, you guys have the visibility in that space as well. So lights are definitely big on this trailer. We like our lights on our show trailers. This one is currently still available, and being a brand new Cimarron, you're going to get an 8-year structural warranty and then 3-year hitch to bumper. So one of the longest warranties on the market today. I know I didn't go deep dive into what Cimarron is, but I'm so happy to talk with any of you guys about what a Cimarron is. I am a firm believer. I own one myself. So I'd love to visit with you guys, help you into your next show trailer. Feel free to reach out. My name's Michaela Hall. Shoot me an email, michaela.hall@transwest.com. Call me or text me, 303-918-6367. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Look forward to talking to you, and have a great week.